Welcome back to India This Week. In a colorful function at the Cochin shipyard, India launched its first indigenous aircraft carrier. Defense Minister A.K. Antony's wife, Elizabeth Antony, christened the warship as Vikrant, meaning victorious. Antony described the occasion as a momentous one, and he urged the country to achieve self-reliance in the field of warship design and construction. Vikrant, at almost 40,000 tons, was designed by the Directorate of Naval Design of the Indian Navy. The ship has a full length of about 260 meters and a breadth of 60 meters. The ship is in the first phase of its construction, and over 80% of the structure, containing 2,300 compartments, has been fabricated. Vikrant is moved out of the building dock to be positioned in the refitting dock, where the next phase of outfitting will be completed. She will then undergo extensive trials before she is handed over to the Indian Navy by around 2016. The latest Bollywood movie, Chennai Express, shattered all previous records and set a new record by earning 100 crore at the box office in just 4 days. This is said to be the fastest 100 crore earner in the history of Indian movie industry. The Shah Rukh Khan Deepika Padukone star collected 205 crores in just 6 days. The movie was released in more than 3,500 screens across the country and more than 700 screens in 11 foreign countries. In the US also, Chennai Express has climbed up the popularity chart and ranked at the 13th spot in the very first weekend. Released in 196 theaters across the US, the movie collected $2.42 million in the first 4 days of its release. The Reserve Bank of India on Wednesday rolled back the convertibility of the Indian rupee to protect its volatility against the US dollar. As per the new direction, a resident cannot remit more than $75,000 a year, while earlier permission was for $200,000. This restriction will affect those who have bought property in foreign countries and to pay EMI in dollars. The Reserve Bank has also restricted investment of more than 100% of net worth of a company in overseas countries. Kerala Chief Minister Oommen Chandy announced a judicial inquiry into the solar scam, as the opposition front staged an indefinite siege of the Secretariat in Trivandrum. Chandy, however, ruled out his resignation when the judicial probe was on. Subsequent to the announcement, the opposition called off the siege. The LDF has been in agitation mode, demanding for judicial inquiry and the resignation of the Chief Minister. Chandy reiterated that the government has not lost any money in the 7 crore solar scam, and his government had an open mind for any type of inquiry. In order to face fierce competition, India's national carrier Air India is all set to acquire 19 new Airbus A320s. The aircraft is said to be best suited for domestic operations. As part of the restructuring plan, the airliner will dry lease aircraft for 6 years, and the technical bids will be open by September. Currently, Air India operates 18 A320s, 24 A319s, and 20 A321 aircrafts in its fleet. The new dry leased aircraft will be used to replace the aging fleet of the same type of planes. Ban on a popular diabetes drug, pioglitazone, was lifted after wide consultation. The Health Ministry said detailed discussions show that, if used appropriately in the right type of patients, the drug is effective and safe. Out of the 6 crore diabetic patients in the country, more than 30 lakhs type 2 patients were using pioglitazone. It is an economical alternative to insulin and an effective drug. The ban was on a report of incidence of cancer in type 2 diabetes patients on pioglitazone. Majority of the doctors prefer this drug as it is cost-effective and have no known side effects. However, the drug cannot be prescribed for those with cardiac and renal failures. In the World Badminton Championship, PV Sindhu won a bronze medal. In the semi-final, she lost to Ratchanak Intanon of Thailand in 2 straight sets. The 18-year-old player from Hyderabad is the first Indian woman to win a medal in the championship. Earlier, she had defeated former world number 1 and defending champion Wang Yihan, as well as 7th seed Wang Shixian of China in semi-finals. The Queen of Indian Badminton, Saina Nehwal, and Sindhu are trained under P. Gobichand. India's second moon exploration mission, Chandrayaan-2, will be a totally independent mission. Originally, it was envisaged to be a joint mission with the Russian Federal Space Agency, providing the lander. Following the failure of the Russian-led interplanetary mission, Indian Space Research Organization decided to go in for a mission of its own and to realize the lander module in a few years. India will decide on the payloads on the lander in due course, taking into account the weight, volume, and power constraints of the lander. The mission is proposed to be launched to the Moon in 2015 by a geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle. Chandrayaan-1 was India's first unmanned lunar orbiter that was launched in 2008. It was a real boost to India's space program. Before we close, highlights of the week once again. Heavily armed submarine INS Sindhurakshak exploded and sank at Mumbai Naval Dock. All 18 sailors lost their lives. Rising from the centuries-old burdens, India now stands victorious and celebrated its 67th Independence Day on August 15. Ace shooter Ranjan Sodhi gets Khel Ratna. Virat Kohli, PV Sindhu, and Ranjit Maheshwari selected for Arjuna Awards. India curbs on gold imports as the demand for the precious metal surges. First indigenous aircraft carrier Vikrant launched, heralding self-reliance in the field of warship design. Shah Rukh Khan Deepika Padukone star Chennai Express collects 205 crores in just 6 days, beating all past records at box office. Kerala Chief Minister Oommen Chandy announced a judicial inquiry into the solar scam, and in response, the opposition called off indefinite siege of the Secretariat. India's national carrier, Air India, to acquire 19 new Airbus A320s on dry lease. Health Ministry lifts ban on popular diabetes drug pioglitazone. India's second moon exploration mission, Chandrayaan-2, will be a totally independent mission. And that is all for India This Week. I am Sam Kottabashedi signing off. Stay tuned and see you next week.